Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundlesssuccess to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth. Russian drones shot down over Poland. Hamas leaders killed in Qatar. The Biden administration vastly overstated job gains, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Poland shot down Russian drones over its airspace early on Wednesday, according to the Polish Armed Forces, making this the first time Poland has directly engaged Russian assets since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Prime Minister Donald Tusk said Poland's airspace was violated by a huge number of drones, which the Polish military called unprecedented and an act of aggression. The drones flew deep enough into Poland to close 4 airports, including Warsaw's main hub, Chopin, and forced the country to scramble its air forces, while NATO also deployed jets. Russia claims there is no evidence that the drones are Russian. Ukraine's foreign minister said the incident showed Putin continues to escalate, expanding the war. The operation marks the first time Russian drones have been shot down over the territory of a NATO country, and no casualties have been recorded, according to the Prime Minister. Israel launched an airstrike on Hamas leaders in Doha, Qatar on Tuesday, striking their political headquarters as they discussed a U.S.-backed Gaza ceasefire plan. Hamas claimed its senior officials survived, though 5 members of its team were killed, along with the son of top negotiator Khalil al-Hayya. Qatar said one of its security officers also died. The White House confirmed it had advance notice and relayed a last-minute warning to Qatar, later calling the attack an unfortunate incident that undermines peace efforts. The strike drew swift condemnation from Qatar, the UN, and U.S. allies from Britain to Germany, while Arab states denounced it as a violation of sovereignty. The Department of Homeland Security launched Operation Midway Blitz on Monday to start detaining illegal immigrants in Chicago and Illinois after Governor J.B. Pritzker repeatedly refused to cooperate with the Trump administration's crime crackdown. DHS announced the operation on social media, revealing it was in honor of Katie Abraham, age 20, who died in a hit-and-run car crash caused by a Guatemalan national illegally residing in the United States. Chief Justice John Roberts temporarily halted a court order that required the Trump administration to spend $5 billion in foreign aid, siding at least for now with President Donald Trump's effort to pull back the funds. The administrative stay gives the Supreme Court justices more time to weigh the administration's request to keep the funds frozen. Congress authorized the money, which must be spent by September 30th, 2025. The stay is temporary and could be replaced later this week. Roberts ordered the aid groups to respond by noon on Friday. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court announced Tuesday that it has agreed to hear a case challenging President Trump's far-reaching tariffs in early November. The case will be a major test of both the legality of Trump's flagship economic policy and the limits of presidential power. The labor market created far fewer jobs during the final year of the Biden administration than previously claimed, according to a Labor Department report released Tuesday that added to concerns both about the health of the economy and the state of data collection. Annual revisions to non-farm payrolls data for the year prior to March 2025 showed a drop of 911,000 from the initial estimates, according to a preliminary report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The total revision was on the high end of Wall Street's expectations, which ranged from a low around 600,000 to as many as 1 million. The revisions were more than 50% higher than last year's adjustment and the largest on record going back to 2002. On a monthly basis, they suggest average job growth of 76,000 less than initially reported. The numbers, which are adjusted from data in the quarterly census and reflect updated information on business openings and closing, add to the evidence that the employment picture in the U.S. is weakening. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York on Monday released new data that showed American households are increasingly pessimistic about finding a new job if they lose their current one. It is the lowest level since the New York Fed began collecting data for the series in June 2013. The New York Fed's Center for Microeconomic Data released its survey of consumer expectations for August, which showed that the average perceived probability of finding a job if the respondent were to lose their current job plunged last month to a new low amid economic uncertainty. The perceived probability of finding a new job if one's current job was lost dropped 5.8 percentage points last month, falling to 44.9%. The decline was broad-based across age, education, and income groups, but it was most pronounced for those with at most a high school education, according to the New York Fed. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.